cold down here in the basement of our WMAR vault. I'm Jamie Costello here at WMAR. We're celebrating over 3/4 of a century on the air. We were the first TV station in Maryland, and now we're setting our sights on the future and streaming. And to that end, we're mixing the old up with the new, opening up the WMAR vault and then dusting off 16 million feet of archive footage. And this week, we continue our celebration of Maryland's Black history with a look back on a few of the artists and musicians who have called our state home. We hope you enjoy this episode of the WMAR Vault.
There is a wealth of black artistic talent in the city of Baltimore and the state of Maryland. Singers, dancers, musicians, artists, enriching all of our lives. But there are two very special people here at Baltimore's High School for Performing Arts who are not only talented, but have the drive and desire to pass on their crafts to young people.
All right, here we go.
Sylvester Campbell has danced on prestigious stages throughout the world, from Moscow to New York. He was a member of the Royal Winnipeg Ballet and the Maryland Ballet. And yet, when he was asked to head up the dance department at Baltimore's High School for Performing Arts, he took the job with little hesitation or soul-searching.
Well, it's just that I thought it was time to, give my services to younger people and to help them on with what they want to accomplish. There's nothing like, giving a class to your students and seeing something happen. It's like seeing something grow, seeing a plant grow or something like that. You might want to describe it that way. But it's so enriching. I mean, it's such a thankful thing. I think it's more exciting than being on the stage, really.
Anybody have a piece that they did from the exam that they would like to put up?
Upstairs at the High School for Performing Arts is the art class of Carol Bayard. She's considered one of this country's top illustrators of children's books, primarily books about black history, culture, and family life. Her pictures are lifelike and filled with Carol's personal pride in being black.
It has been, my feeling that the best way that I can portray black people is realistically, for children especially, and with a lot of love and understanding in terms of my background and my home life and my family and friends. And that's what I try to put into the book.
Like Sylvester Campbell, Carol Bayard feels the need to teach, even if it means paying less attention to her own art career. The students at Baltimore's High School for Performing Arts are lucky indeed to have the talent and sincere dedication of teachers like these. I'm Susan White Bowden, News Scene 2.
Nestled in the Druid Hills area is a place where photographers can express themselves thanks in part to a federal grant. The Chroma Gallery specializes in black art forms that range from inner-city attractions to the lifestyles of those who live in other countries. However, this week, the gallery is featuring works by 34-year-old Reggie Daniels. During a visit to Jamaica, he wandered into the mountains to take some pictures. And when he returned, he learned that he was lucky to show what he saw. These are the Rastafarians, a people who live without modern-day luxuries.
As an example, we were there underground shooting, and CBS crew had been down there just before us, and the Rastas had confiscated their camera equipment and exposed their film and physically beat them up. And then we come in totally ignorant to what had happened, and they thought that we were a backup unit, the black unit for CBS, doing the same subject matter. One thing about it was funny, they accepted us, but they didn't touch us. They would not shake hands with us. They wouldn't get near us because we were Americans and they knew that we ate meat.
I haven't really seen anyone else do. I haven't seen anyone else's work that includes Rastafarian subject matter, no.
Daniels is now beginning to realize that the rare photos he took for granted may have brought him some recognition. His works have attracted the eye of at least 2 magazines for nationwide publication. For News Scene Update, I'm Mark Norman.
It's the story of 2 political prisoners being held at Robben Island, South Africa's maximum security prison for non-Europeans, and how the 2 try to escape through theater, whether it's play acting a phone call back home.
Give me the news, man. You don't say. No, we don't hear anything here. Not a word. What was that?
Or performing the Greek tragedy Antigone for fellow prisoners, a play about following the law versus following one's own conscience. and Pela Makoba portrays one of the men. But his experience goes deeper than just acting. A native of South Africa, he worked with Fugard's theater troupe before fleeing to the U.S. in the 60s. He now lives in Baltimore, teaching and performing plays about his homeland to increase awareness here of a freedom that does not exist in South Africa.
Whenever you voice your grievance, it's like, you're putting your head on the line. You're the troublemaker. You may disappear from your home. You may be arrested. You may be detained. They have all kinds of regulations to stop people from trying to fight for their freedom.
You're only a man, Kriya. Even as there are laws made by men, so too there are others that come from God. He watches my soul for transgression, even as your spies hide in the bush at night to see who's transgressing your laws. Guilty against God I will not be for any man on this earth.
Education has always been a priority for Sam Wilson. After graduating from Douglas High School and Coppin State College, he was a teacher and administrator in the city school system for 25 years and has been teaching at Coppin since 1971. In 1953, he founded the Arena Players, the country's longest-running black community theater group.
Dr. Elijah Saunders, a Douglas High School alumnus, was the first black resident in internal medicine at the University of Maryland Hospital. Today, the internationally recognized authority heads the hospital's hypertension division and is an associate professor at the University School of Medicine. In 1987, the Elijah Saunders Scholarship was instituted at Morgan State University.
For the past 10 years, the Birdcage has been a mecca for Baltimore jazz fans on Monday nights. It's a tradition that's still going strong. The Birdcage on East North Avenue is in a tough neighborhood, but there are seldom problems inside. People who come here are interested in one thing, the music. That bill is filled by the brother-sister duo of Mickey and Shirley Fields. He wails on his sax, she belts out the ballads. Their style, the red curtain stage, the feeling here takes you right back to the jazz club as it was known in the 50s. The Fields started out like many artists in church in their hometown of Towson. As they reached their teens, their tunes turned to jazz. Shirley remembers Towson music and family.
We were separated from White Bush, really, because we had a little area where we lived. We couldn't go to the white movie out there. So we had to get on an 8th Street car and come in town to the Royal Theater to see a show. But music-wise, we had a lot of little people took up instruments, and we used to have music in our house. Every Saturday or Sunday, we get a little jam session with some pots and pans,
The Fields are obviously a long way from pots and pans, but those private family jam sessions still go on Sundays now. Shirley, Mickey, 5 brothers and sisters, and their mama to this day make a little music together every Sunday. I bet that's some session. Joyce Jefferson on the night scene at the Birdcage.
If I should take a notion to jump into the ocean, say nobody's business if I do.
Songs of Billie Holiday filled the air today as an 8-foot monument to Lady Day was unveiled at the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue in Lafayette.
There couldn't be a better place for Billie Holiday statue to stand, right across from a field where was the site of the Royal Theater, where Billie Holiday and countless other very talented performers were showcased.
Good friend of mine. Can remember as a kid, we used to sit on the corner of Orleans and Caroline Street, and all the kids would sit on the step, and Billie used to sing to us.
If I should jump into an ocean.
Billie Holiday's style of jazz singing made her an international sensation. She wrote, she traveled, but most of all, she sang the blues.
If my man ain't got no money.
Cousins of Billie Holiday looked back on her short life and the way she put her heart into her music.
She sang her real feelings, And a lot of people today are singing for money, but she's sang for money and feelings with it.
God bless the child who has his own. Those are words immortalized in song by Billie Holiday, and now she has her own. The memorial to the lady who sings the blues. Brenda Carl, News Scene 2 in Upton.
We are family.
It was nearly a decade ago when her career began to evolve from sisterly sing-alongs in the family's basement on Queenstown Road in Severn. It didn't take long for the eldest of the Braxton sisters to sing her way to the top of the music world, winning Grammys and the hearts of fans around the world.
Toni Braxton.
But earlier this year, Toni was forced to sing the blues when she took a financial bath and went into the red. Since declaring bankruptcy, her sultry sounds have been noticeably missing from the music charts while in litigation. But watch for this beauty, who has always turned heads on stage, to soon be a beauty of another kind on Broadway. Yes, I've learned exclusively from the Reverend Michael Braxton that daughter Toni will be taking on the lead role of Belle in Beauty and the Beast on Broadway beginning in August. Toni told her dad about the change in fortune last night, and Reverend Braxton wanted me to be the first today to share the good word with 2 News viewers.
I think that's beautiful. She deserves it.
And I believe that she will make a very beautiful black woman for the Beauty and the Beast.
This could turn everything around for her, and I wish her a lot of luck and much success.
So there you have it, Toni B as the Beauty, and Toni P as the Beast. I'm the beastly Tony Pagnotti, 2 News, Baltimore.
15 years after graduating from Northwestern High School, Sheila Dixon Smith became the youngest woman ever elected to the Baltimore City Council. Since citizens and elected officials agree public education is a priority, the freshman councilwoman's experience should prove invaluable. Sheila Dixon Smith has a master's degree in early education and was a Baltimore City public school teacher for 10 years.
Dorothy Bronson, owner of radio station WEBB, tells anyone and everyone who will listen, you can grow up poor in the inner city and make it in corporate America. Dorothy Bronson knows her goals, determination, and career path led her from Harlem to Baltimore to become the first and only black owner of a radio station in Maryland. The brilliant businesswoman and programmer is a staunch supporter of the community in which she lives. She has served as president of one community organization, HUB, and sits on the board of a number of others, including Associated Black Charities and the United Way. The woman who in just 8 years brought bankrupt WEBB to its present position of partner in the black community has emerged as a universal role model.
Quickly get them across the street.
Over the past few days, some 4,000 city and county students have been flocking to the Meyerhoff to take a musical journey into Afro-American history.
This section is called Dance Negro, which is French for Dance of the Blacks.
The Baltimore Symphony Orchestra plays the works of renowned composer Samuel Coleridge Taylor. Switching tempo, Michelle Howard sings Scott Joplin's Real Slow Drag. But the musician who really steals the show is 12-year-old Warren Wolf of Baltimore and his instrument of African origin, the marimba. This Baltimorean began playing drums when he was just 2. The Peabody student says he plans to keep the classical music alive. What's your dream? What do you want to do with your music someday?
I plan to pass it on to, if I had children or something, I plan to pass it on. And so they can play, they can pass it on to their sons and sons.
Were you a little nervous going out there today playing in front of all these students?
Yeah, I was scared because my heart was beating. And when my heart was beating, I got scared.
His heart may have been beating, but Warren never missed a beat, and the kids loved it. Downtown, Tony Pagnotti, News Channel 2.
I think it's just the energy.
Rhythms. A lot of syncopated, complicated, funky rhythms. We cannot just stand there and play. We have to perform. We have to use showmanship. We have to do all the little things that most people don't even think about doing.
Cause I want to get nasty right here. Break it down. Wait a minute.
Most people take a serious attitude about music, but not Radiant. Our problem is this, which is crazy.
What makes Radiant special is the energy that we project.
For all of us, I think it's a challenge to reach the top.
Kick it out. Kick it out. Put your hands up. Put your hands up now.
The group lets the audience get heavily involved, and that's the entertainment part of it.
Somebody say yo baby, yo. Somebody say yo baby, yo. Somebody say yo baby, yo.
We love our fans. We love to see them come back and see us.
Here we go, the Radiant Run. Put your hand in the air. Put your hand in the air.
John Ferran remembers Baltimore before the Civil Rights Act of 1954. When he graduated from Douglas High, schools were still segregated. As desegregation moved forward, he worked in intergroup relations. Today, as director of the Community Relations Commission of Baltimore City, he addresses the progress we're making in showing respect for each other.
Nate Chapman's leadership qualities surfaced early. After graduating from Poly, he was class president in his senior year at UMBC. 6 years ago, when the young accountant interviewed with Alex Brown & Sons, his answer to what he'd ultimately like to do was run my own firm. A year ago, he did just that when he started the Chapman Company, Maryland's first black-owned brokerage firm.
I'd like to designate February the 6th to the 13th as Hubie Blake Week in Baltimore, whereas James Hubert Hubie Blake made his first public appearance on February the 7th, 1883 in Baltimore.
Stay there. I won't leave until you.
Okay. Hubie, what's it like coming back to your hometown like this?
Well, I tell you, you got to be a composer to hear your music sung and danced like I heard tonight. It's a thrill that I can't explain it, because if you explain it too much, people will say you got the big hit. But I haven't got that, but I'm proud and I'm so thankful for these, I call them kids because they're nothing. You ain't no kid. Don't look at me as a kid. You ain't no kid. He's old as I am.
I'm a kid. I'm a kid beside you.
Yeah, beside me, yeah.
Let me ask you, you're 96 years old, which I find very hard to believe. What is your secret?
I don't know.
Years, that's a lot.
I don't know.
Is there a secret to your
My father
vitality?
lived to be 83 years old. My mother lived to be 78, and she gave birth to 11 children. I'm the last, and she lived to be 78 years old. That's all I can tell you.
One thing. How has music changed since you began writing?
Oh, quite. It had, pardon me, several changes, see. But years ago, ragtime wasn't considered. It was not art.
But you helped make it
You
art.
ask any musician about the Charleston rag. First thing is in ungodly keys, 5 flats and 6 flats. So you're playing in the black keys all the time. So they asked me, why did you put it there? Well, the fellas in my time, they played it, and they could play in any keys, see? But they played in D flat, G flat, not G. Well, G flat is F sharp, and harmonic change. It's the same thing, see? And they
Let me ask you, if you had anything to do over in your life, what would it be?
write another Broadway show. Write the music, not the old music. I want to write one more show for Broadway before I die.
Well, it sounds like you've got a
I
few
really
good years
do.
left.
I'm serious about that.
Thank you very much for talking with
Okay,
us tonight,
thank you.
Mr. Flake. I'm Fran Thanchel for Channel 2 News.
Oh, man, what a party that must have been. The great Eubie Blake, born on Forest Street here in Baltimore back on February the 7th of 1887. Well, for nearly a century now, WMAR has brought the news into your home from film to video to tiny digital cards. Over the air, cable, satellite, now streaming. We'll keep moving forward and remember to look back at the stories and the moments that made us all Maryland. We hope you've enjoyed the episode of The Vault. We'll see you next time. Hey, it's Jamie Costello. If you just enjoyed this episode of The Vault, you can check out more episodes by clicking on this box down here. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that circle, and that'll subscribe you to WMAR 2 News for great content every single day.